Do objects move in space? There are lots of different objects in space. We call them celestial bodies. Although they may look as if they're still, they're constantly moving because of forces acting on them. Over time, we've been able to look more closely at the different celestial bodies in space. Let's start with the solar system. It's made up of a star and all the objects that orbit around it. An orbit is the path that a celestial body follows as it goes around another celestial body. All celestial objects follow an elliptical path, and this means that the path is oval-shaped. The Sun is a star at the centre of our solar system, and there are 8 sphere-shaped planets in orbit around it: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The Earth and other planets stay in orbit around the Sun because of the Sun's gravity. Gravity is a force that pulls objects towards each other, and the Sun has a very strong pull of gravity on the objects around it because it's so massive. Asteroids and comets are also in orbit around the Sun, but they're not sphere-shaped. Currently, scientists think that Earth is the only celestial body that contains life. The amount of time it takes for a planet to orbit the Sun is called a year. The Earth's orbit around the Sun takes about 365.25 days to complete. Other planets take different amounts of time to complete a full orbit. For example, Mercury, the planet close to the Sun, has a shorter orbit of 88 days. On the other hand, Neptune's orbit takes 165 Earth years. The Sun provides heat and light energy for Earth and other planets in our solar system. This energy is so powerful that we should not stare directly at the Sun because it can permanently damage our eyesight. Our solar system is one of many solar systems in our galaxy. A galaxy is a group of billions of celestial objects. Our galaxy is called the Milky Way, but there are thought to be billions of galaxies in our universe. The universe is everything that exists.
The Sun rises in the morning, moves across the sky, and sets in the evening. Then darkness falls and we have night. But why does this happen every day? Let's find out. We learned in our last lesson that Earth orbits the Sun. But Earth has another movement too. It spins. The spinning of Earth is called rotation. Earth spins on an imaginary line called an axis. Think of the axis like an invisible stick going through Earth from the North Pole to the South Pole. Earth takes about 24 hours to complete one full rotation. That's why a day is 24 hours long. One full spin equals 1 day and 1 night. Earth spins in a west to east direction. This is important to remember because it explains why the Sun appears to move across our sky from east to west. The Sun is always shining, but it can only light up half of a planet at any time. The half facing the Sun experiences daytime, while the half facing away experiences nighttime. Let's look at how the Sun appears to move across the sky during the day, even though it doesn't actually move. At the start of the day, as the Earth spins, we see the Sun rise. To us, it looks like the Sun is in the east. Later in the day, the Sun appears to be high in the sky above us. It looks like it's to the north of our position. Then, as Earth keeps turning, the Sun seems to move across the sky. By evening, we see it setting in the west. However, the sun is not moving. Earth spins from west to east, and that's why we see the sun rise, move across the sky, and set. So the sun looks like it moves, but really, we're the ones spinning. Does the moon change shape? Let's talk about the moon. The moon is a big round rock that moves around the Earth. It takes about a month to go all the way around. The moon doesn't make its own light. What we see is sunlight bouncing off the moon like a big mirror in the sky. As the moon moves around the Earth, we see different parts of its sunny side. This makes the moon look like it's changing shape. Sometimes we can't see the moon at all. That's called a new moon. When we can see all of the sunny side, it's called a full moon. In between, we might see a crescent moon that looks like a banana, or a half moon that looks like a half circle. So remember, the moon doesn't really change shape. We just see different amounts of its sunny side as it moves around the Earth. Can we use the sky to tell the time? Long ago, people didn't have clocks or watches. Instead, they used the sky to tell the time. They looked at where the sun, moon, and stars were. The sun helped people know when to wake up and when to go to bed. When the sun came up, it was time to start the day. When it went down, it was time to sleep. People also used the moon to count days. A full moon to the next full moon is about a month. That's why month sounds a bit like moon. Some clever people made a tool called a sundial. It uses the sun's shadow to show the time of day. When the sun is high in the sky at midday, the shadow is short. When the sun is low in the sky in the evening, the shadow is long. Isn't it amazing? People used the sky as a giant clock and calendar before we had the gadgets we use today. What is the geocentric model? A long time ago, people looked up at the sky and wondered how everything worked. They saw the sun, moon, and stars moving across the sky every day or night. They thought this meant that everything was moving around the Earth. This idea is called the geocentric model. Geo means Earth and centric means centre. An ancient Greek thinker named Ptolemy came up with this idea. He said the Earth was in the middle and everything else moved in circles around it. Many people believed this idea for a very long time, over 1,000 years. It made sense because it matched what they saw in the sky every day. People used this model to make calendars and to understand the world around them. It was even part of some religions. But as we'll see in our next video, this idea wasn't quite right. Sometimes what we see isn't the whole picture. What is the heliocentric model? Remember how people used to think everything moved around Earth? Well, in the 1500s, a clever man named Copernicus had a new idea. Copernicus said, what if the sun is in the middle and Earth moves around it. This is called the heliocentric model. Helio means sun. He figured out that Earth and the other planets all move around the sun in oval-shaped paths called orbits. And he was right. At first, many people didn't believe Copernicus. His idea was very different from what everyone had thought for so long. But other smart people, like Galileo, used telescopes to look at the sky. They found proof that Copernicus was right. Today, we know for sure that the sun is at the centre of our solar system. We've even sent spacecraft to take pictures of the planets.